Hello, friends. How are you doing? I'm so happy to be with you on this Wednesday to talk about Psalm 65. This is a beautiful psalm. Like I said in my writing, I am adding this to my list of favorite psalms. It's a short list, my list of favorite psalms, but I am adding this one to the list. I loved this psalm, and I have to tell you, I loved it because I love the warm fuzzies. I just love the warm fuzzies, and it got me with the last verses 9 through 13, where it talks about how God takes care of the earth and how God provides out of an abundance for us. I just loved that. I love that imagery. I love the picture that it formed. The bountiful harvest, the grasslands of the wilderness become a lush pasture. The hillsides blossom with joy. I loved all that. One of the most wonderful things that have happened during this time of coronavirus is that one day my husband came home and had seeds, and we planted a garden. The garden's like resting right now through the summer. We got some cucumbers and peas and stuff out of it, but we're gonna plant again here in the fall pretty soon, and then we're gonna have a spring garden. And that was like one of the best things of coronavirus, because when my grandma was alive, we used to have a garden. She lived right next door to me here, and she planted green beans, and so we always had lots of green beans. And I always have said that when we retire one day and move up to our cabin in Georgia and live there full time, that we'll have a garden. But because Toby brought those seeds home and plowed up a bit of our backyard and we had the garden, then I said, you know what, we're going to keep on having the garden now. And it just is that little piece of earth that reminds me of God's abundance, and that we can make the earth give us vegetables and produce an abundance, just like it says in the Bible. And I feel like we're taking part in that creative power that God gave us. And so this one spoke to me for that reason, because I feel like we're becoming part of God's creative power when we take part of that. And another part of the psalm that I think is really important is that it talks about forgiveness, and it talks about the power of God and that we trust God, and then it talks about the things that God has provided for us, but then that thread that's stitched through, that we are constantly giving thanks and praising God and being joyful for these things that we have, and that we're always keeping that at the top of our lists. And so that's been a thing that I've tried in the last couple years, to be more to just do more, to just have it more at the top of my head when I'm outside walking around, to notice the things around me and to thank God for them, and to be joyful when I'm out and about, when I notice the things that God has created, instead of just letting them pass me by, because it's easy to like not notice the trees that we see every day or the animals that we see every day, but instead to stop and thank God for those things, and to be mindful of the things that God has created. And so that's all I have to say about today. I thought the psalm was beautiful and lovely, and a nice break from kind of the laments and kind of downer psalms that we've had in the recently. So it was just nice to have a nice, pretty psalm to talk about. So again, it's one of my favorites. I hope that you guys are finding some favorites. I'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.